into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I can sing this week. Lock it in my pocket.
You're doing really well.
Very
with that.
nice.
Yeah.
I don't like to do it alone though. You guys have to join in next time.
I want you to like sing it all next time, but we'll wait for that.
You can keep a secret.
I'm glad you know the lyrics by heart. I feel like all Pretty Little Liars fans should. Well, hello AfterBuzzers. We're here doing obviously another Pretty Little Liars after show for you all. We're in season 5. This is episode 20. Pretty isn't the point. We're streaming live on YouTube tonight, and you can always find us on YouTube at youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV, and you can find us on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. And this is a show that you should reach out, let us know your theories, because there's a lot happening. And you can use the hashtag ABTVPLL, and I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can tweet at me at Stephanie Wenger.
Hey guys, I'm Heather Joy Smith, and you can tweet at me at Heather Joy Smith.
Hi guys, I'm Kristin Strange. You can tweet me at Kristin Strange.
And hey y'all, I'm Hannah, and you can tweet at me at the Hotshot Dude.
When you said pretty isn't the point, I thought that you were making a statement. I didn't know that was not the name of the episode, but that's a really cool name.
I love the name, because the last few weeks have been strange names, and this one I totally get why with the pageant. It perfectly fits. Totally fits. But before we get into the pageant, I feel like it's only right that we start with Mike's big possible reveal. That's kind of what I actually want to start with, is do we think that this is the truth? Is he telling the full truth?
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as he knows, yeah. I think this is the truth.
Okay, so no question. See, I wasn't sure if it's Mona's lying to him or if, like, it is his truth, but I'm not sure if it's the complete truth.
Yeah. I agree, it's his truth.
Yeah.
Who knows if it's really the truth?
I can agree with that.
I don't think that they haven't found Mona's body yet, right?
No.
So I don't think that she's dead then. Like, I don't know why we should believe. They're like, oh yeah, well, he obviously doesn't get that she's dead. Well, why do you think she's dead now? Because obviously, right when we saw them drawing that blood, I was like, I know what's happening. And then the detective said there was enough blood to assume that the wounds were fatal. Anyways, so I was like, oh, they're totally.
No, I totally get what you mean. Let's back up a second, though, and kind of summarize what his whole story was, because if you were like me, you really had to write it all out, and hopefully you did at home, but maybe you didn't, and I can do that for you. So
this would be a great time for a flowchart.
I know.
You didn't do that in the last 10 minutes?
I agree. That would be a perfect time for a flowchart. And also, all these commenters have been wanting us to talk about the blood, so this is a perfect opportunity to do that as well. So Mike... Obviously, Arya finds Mike with a vial of Mona's blood. She wants to know why he has it. He takes it back to Thanksgiving and says that he went over to see her. She has the creepiest refrigerator ever, full of her own blood and a bandage on her arm. Clearly, she's been getting her own blood. We can all talk about how horrible that sounds, but all right, so we're there. And then she says that she did this because A has encouraged her to frame Allison for her death. So she can cover herself in the blood, as you mentioned, enough blood to be fatal. She can disappear and then return the girls heroes once she gets closer to A, essentially, by going along with this plot. She's getting closer to A, so she can reveal A, become the girls heroes, and I add to get into their inner circle, which is what Mona has always wanted. Summary acceptable?
Yes.
That was fantastic.
It's very good.
Feeling good about it, guys. All right. So after that point, this is my question, is who would do this? Like, even to get closer to A, why would you want to be close to A? This is
Mona. Mona would do this. That's the answer.
Well, and it makes me wonder too, because before when Mona was crazy, she was like working with A, but for A. So I'm like, did she never feel like she was close enough to A to begin with back then?
I don't think she ever knew who it was.
Yeah.
So she was just kind of like doing what she was told, and then kind of like doing her own thing, and then she got caught.
For as long as we've known Mona, she's always been the follower and always wanting to be accepted by whoever she's trying to impress. It's nothing new. So for her to do something so crazy kind of makes sense. Sadly.
I'm really impressed that she could draw her own blood, though.
Me too.
Man.
And without crazy amounts of bruising, like that was a pretty clean arm right there.
I know, and it makes you wonder, like, what technique was she using? That's like a whole nother conversation.
It did not make me wonder that.
No, I don't want to know.
It just made me, like, really wonder, like, what she was up to. But the other thing I was wondering is, now we know that Mike stole the other girl's blood. So is he, because he was placing it in the tree, right? And he claims that is to hide it from Arya. I don't believe. That is the portion of the story I don't believe. There has to be another reason why he's going into the forest and putting this blood into a tree.
I think he was leaving it for someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, everyone's like, yeah.
No, I agree with you.
But who?
But who is the question, and why, if he had access to all of Mona's blood that she gave him, why did he need the other girl's blood?
Well, I don't know that with the other girl's blood, but I imagine that he was leaving it. The only thing I can think of was for Cyrus, if he was leaving it for anybody, and if I'm to understand correctly, Cyrus also works for A, but is also working against A as well by sharing information with Mike. So we can trust Cyrus, yes. Yes.
No.
Is that where we're at?
No,
I'm not there
trust
yet.
him, yeah.
But is that what he's claiming to be his role thus far?
I think Mike trusts him. But I don't think, as a viewer, I trust him.
Yeah.
And I think he's the same as 2A as Mona was. I don't think he knows anything either. I think he's just a puppet
Right.
that can get stuff done.
But what's Cyrus's, like, motivation in all of this?
I mean, there was all that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars.
But I'm like, what is his relation to A or Mona or Allie? What is making him
Maybe
be
we'll
involved?
find out.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I would like to know. Somebody tweet.
Do you think, though, that Mona... Mike says that he thinks that she double-crossed A and now that she's dead. We all kind of said at the beginning of the episode, if I heard you guys correctly, don't think that she's dead.
No.
I don't think I'm not convinced now. Once I see how much blood she has, enough for wounds to be fatal, okay. Why am I supposed to believe she's dead now? She might still be out there working. And maybe the reason Mike is like, oh, I now I think she's dead is because he's tried to meet her, he said, and she's never showed up. But, I mean, that could be for who knows how many reasons that she doesn't show up.
And I think she could be protecting him by not responding, but there's still that part of me, like, my instincts are like, no, she's not dead, da-da-da, but then there's that part of me that keeps remembering that clip of her dead body in that truck. I'm like, what was that for then? There's
been a lot of misplaced bodies on this show. Just saying.
And I'm like, did she, like, have to pose her body as being dead for somebody? Like, paint herself blue? Like, I don't understand. Like,
Well, they found remnants of Mona in Allie's car, right?
I think so.
So maybe she was posing as a dead body to get remnants in Allie's car, and then she got out somewhere.
That was beautiful. You, like, made it all the way there and then jumped out of it.
She got out. I don't know where she's at now, but, like...
I ran away.
I like the
She
seeds
just
of the
hopped out.
theory. It's gone. Yeah, it's just... one of those. No, I mean, this show, I feel like we're getting crazier and crazier by the episode. Like, it really is. Every time I watch, just a little more insane.
I don't feel like right now I can fathom what the end is going to bring.
No.
Like, I think when it comes, I'm going to be like, yeah, 2 years ago, I had no no clue that this was where I was going.
But wouldn't you, like, I can't remember what my first instinct was with who was A, but wouldn't you laugh if it ends up being that very first instinct?
Right.
Yes.
I mean,
You're like, I knew it was that person
All this
along.
time, and it was them. Really?
maybe that's like a perfect segue. Do you have any current predictions on who A is, or are you just in this theory and kind of want to see where it goes this season?
I have a couple.
Okay.
Well, okay, this is like the weirdest theory, but today I kind of got a little concerned about Emily. Here's why. Because when Caleb came in with the sandwiches, she asked, "Did you bring mustard?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's in there."
Okay, I gotta go with you on this one.
I
because
just thought that was weird.
I thought that whole little sequence was very odd too.
I was
but
like-
I thought it was just like they just put it in there. I was like,
Wait, so the mustard made you believe she may or may not.
Yes, because I was like, why is she asked, like, that's weird. You don't ask for mustard on TV.
Well, maybe it was like a clue hint, like Colonel Mustard. Maybe they referenced all of it.
yeah, I didn't exactly go straight to the A thing with that, but I did notice it, and I did think it was also very weird.
It was like maybe Caleb's in it with her, and it's like, hey, Caleb, did you bring the mustard? Like, did you bring the stash of whatever it is that I need
Stop.
this time?
All right.
So
All
is Caleb
theories-
in it
Yeah.
on your theory too?
In the mustard theory. We'll just call that the mustard theory.
Mustard
right now.
theory. Okay, that's this week's theory. All right, I take it. Accept it. It's good. I don't know. I see. I was thinking tonight that it could be, and this is what a lot of fans are thinking, that it could be Arya because of her closeness. She claims like not to know what Mike was doing and had to like search with her friends, but she lives in the same house as him. I feel like he probably is, like, he's very close to Mona. I feel like he's the closest out of all of the relatives of these people to actually being around A. I don't necessarily think he is A, but I think she has the information.
Maybe I just don't think that theory anymore, just because everybody's starting to jump on that theory that I'm like, man, now it's too predictable. Can't be it. But I do have a theory, but I'm going to save it for predictions because it goes along with this episode and things.
Not mustard, though?
I guess
Not the mustard.
I guess Arya could be the one who figures out who A is, or she could be A. I'm not sure. It just feels like she's in that like inner circle of
Somehow.
A.
Yeah.
I feel like she could figure it out. Arya's my favorite, so I can't make her be A. That would just ruin the whole show for me.
But I think I dig it. I'd be like, baller right there.
Also,
Right?
Also going on Emily, I think that it was a little strange that she offered to be in the beauty pageant. Not that, I mean, I get it because she's a very kind-hearted person and she wants to help her friend. So I get it on that side. But then I'm also like suspicious. Why are you trying to be in the beauty pageant? What
Try
are you
to help
gonna...
her friend out. Do something nice.
And I get that, and I hope that she's just being nice. But who knows?
I also want to mention Andrew's brief role in the Mike storyline tonight. He seems very supportive of Arya.
Yeah.
Very supportive.
Which I dig. But like, I'm like, when he goes into the woods and doesn't take whatever's in the log, I'm like, there's no way you didn't check what was in that log and open up that bag. Nobody just goes 90% and then just doesn't get curious. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very, very true.
But what if... No, never mind. That was a bad theory. I'm just going to keep that one inside
Worse
me.
than the mustard?
Yeah, it was worse.
All right. You can keep it some things to yourself. It's good.
If I come up with more, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Sounds good. No, I just think... I wonder why he didn't go that extra 10%. That's like...
Because he's a normal person, and when he gets scared, he goes the other way. Not like everybody else in this town who, when they think that they're going to die, they're like, let me go at you.
Man, I don't believe it. I totally think he checked, and I think it'll come back later that he checked.
I do have to say, though, when Arya went to the forest by herself, I was like, that's...
Safe.
Yeah, safe. Good choices, ladies.
Why
Always.
do they do this?
Yeah, it's all the time. So frustrating because I'm just like, this is not the way to spend your like Friday whatever night. It's just not the way to spend your night.
They need to have a buddy system
Yes.
all the time. They need to handcuff a buddy to them when they're in dangerous situations. That way no one can get locked in something that tries to make pots go, or in like a furnace, or in
they
like
need
a
some
big
tasers.
dishwasher. Yeah.
They need
Yeah,
some
why are
serious
they
taser
not
action.
walking around with tasers or something?
I have no
Or like
idea.
a tracking device.
Or
Yes.
rape whistle kind of thing.
Yes,
Like-
something. Come on, girls.
I know, just be safe out there. It's not that difficult.
I know.
Don't go into the forest alone. It's okay. So let's move on to Hannah and the beauty pageant. I feel like I just want to start out by saying I think this is a really surprising turn for her character that she would enter a beauty pageant. I feel like there's other ways to find money. But
I don't think that it's surprising.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, she was homecoming queen. Mm-hmm. It's like...
It's so Hannah.
It's old Hannah. It's
Yes.
not current Hannah. Her character's kind of evolved from that. But if you would have told me in the first season that Hannah's going to enter a beauty pageant, I would have been like, duh.
okay, I can see that. First season Hannah, but I feel like, again, like her character has evolved out of that, and that she would be more likely to, I don't know, like create art or do something else to make the money or start her own business. I just felt like this was an interesting way for her to go. That being said, she obviously didn't impress, I guess, was she a beauty
coach.
Yeah, beauty coach.
Beauty coach, okay.
Nan. Nan was her name.
Nan. Okay. Yeah, because I thought their dance. Let's start with the dance, because that feels like a good place to go. Nicki Minaj's song. It's. I just thought it was really funny that like
we were cracking up, laughing so much that they had to come in and tell us like, can you guys keep it down a little bit? Because we were laughing so loud.
Yeah, I mean, it was for a beauty pageant a really surprising song to do. To do that song, I was just like, oh, that's what you chose. All right. And then I mean, Emily
was killing it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very out of character for Hannah or for Emily to be like, oh yeah, I used to dance.
And she was all sexual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
she
like,
was
this
good.
is not your character. I mean, I know that that's very like Shay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
so out of
say.
character for like Emily.
I'm pretty sure Shay's been a dancer
Yeah.
for like
Well, so
childhood.
has Ashley too. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
But I love the fact that like Ashley on the show was trying. It was
so
like
hard.
it was like she was
Seized out,
trying
yeah.
to be horrible.
tell.
You could totally tell because I mean we all know.
I was like-
yeah, there was parts where it was like really good. And you're like, yeah, you can actually dance.
yeah, because
and then
if you haven't seen Bring It On, then you know she can dance.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yep.
forgot about Bring It On.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those movies.
Amazing. No, I agree with you. I just thought that I wanted like more of the dance. For some reason, I feel like we got the same portion of the dance for most of it, and
That's because
then
they didn't want to learn anymore.
Yeah. I thought about that. I was like, this would take a lot of choreography and time to learn all this.
yeah, exactly, and they have busy schedules, so fair enough. But I was surprised Caleb did not. I was not surprised by this. I mean, that Caleb was not into Hannah doing this. He was like offering his mom to give her money, anything to have her not be in the beauty pageant. Why do you think he was so against it, though? I have my own little thoughts, but any thoughts on why?
I mean, I think he probably kind of knows she doesn't want to do it, and he doesn't want her like people looking at her like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, here she is prancing around in a bikini. That's what I want my girlfriend doing.
I think he thinks that she's too good for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
That's like we talked about her evolving. I think she's evolved out of this stage in her life where she
Because
needs
of him.
Exactly, because of him. And I think he knows like there's other ways to find money at this point. Like you don't need to do that to yourself.
I agree, and she messes up the dance because she beats to her own drum, and she's so angry that her stepsister
Kate.
She sees that on the form, I guess, or on the sign up sheet for the pageant, and we come to learn that she's not actually signed up for the pageant, but they're blaming it on Mike. I don't blame that on Mike.
No.
That's not a Mike.
That's A.
Yeah, but that was still at the point when they didn't know that Mike was not affiliated in that sense. You know what I mean? So it was understandable. But I didn't like, I felt bad for Hannah. But playing on her insecurities again, I felt like they did with Nan's interaction with her, not liking the dance moves and her dancing. Like, sometimes I forget Hannah's, like, past, you know what I mean? Because she's such this cool, like, pretty chick or whatnot. and like tough, that like seeing her get emotional like that over them not liking her and feeling that she was beauty pageant worthy was tough. I felt bad for her.
It just felt like she kept getting hit down. Like,
Yeah.
the last 2 episodes have been, like, her dad not accepting her, then the beauty pageant world not accepting her. And I just kind of want a win for Hannah at this point.
Right.
Yeah, it's upsetting that we're not getting... I feel like she's going to get knocked down a few more times before she, like, picks herself back up. And I don't know how she will, if it's going to be Caleb's mom giving her money, how she'll pay for college. But I have all the faith in the world that she will find a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's something
absolutely.
called like school scholarships.
Yeah.
1, student loans. 2, I mean, that's not the greatest option, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean,
No, of course. I mean, realistically...
Fast Web
in-
is out there. There's a million scholarships you can give them for making like a duct tape prom dress.
I think in the real world, I completely agree with you. I'm just interested to see how they...
I like how in Rosewood this is the only way to pay for school.
Right, I was gonna say, like, in the real world, I agree. There are many solutions for school. But I feel like in Rosewood, maybe they will have her get scholarships and that'll be the solution. But I feel like there will be some other larger solution that she'll have to pay back and there will be an A involvement. I don't think anything is simple in Rosewood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that if Emily does get involved with the pageant and go forward with it, that it will, like, blackmail her to some degree over, like, if you win, the money goes to this, or if you use the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's crazy like that.
Emily did offer to, like, enter the pageant for her. Do you think that in some way they'll split the money? It'll all go to Hannah if
I
she
think
wins?
if she wins, she'd give it all to Hannah.
Yeah.
My thinking on this was, okay, so say Emily does enter into the pageant and she happens to win. I feel like something's going to come back where it says, like, the money can only go towards Emily's scholarship, not Hannah's.
That's possible that it could just be solely for the winner.
Or I could see her getting like 3rd place and getting like $5,000 and being like, "Here, Hannah, hope it helps."
Or I could see her being sabotaged by A during the pageant and never getting the opportunity to actually win. Like, she's super talented and great, and we saw that tonight, but that it gets messed up along the way because a pageant is a place where I feel like A could pull a lot of strings.
I mean, she doesn't even need A to sabotage her. That's what all the other contestants are for.
Yeah.
Such a lovely thought.
Well, I want to know, too, when's this pageant going to happen? Because it didn't look like it was happening next week. I'm like, when? Pageant? Nope.
Dang it.
And we only have, I think it's like, 5 more episodes of this season? It's shorter, I think, or not shorter, but it's coming to a close.
Yeah, and they're revving up for that reveal. When is that supposed to happen? Is that supposed
The
to
end
happen?
of March, like 28, 20-some?
Yeah, it's that season
So
finale.
is that going
I
to
believe.
go along then, you think, maybe with the pageant, and the pageant will be the whole finale thing?
Maybe. I mean,
That could be interesting.
they really do like having like an episode on a train, an episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so I could see like an episode at a pageant. That would be an interesting turn for them for sure. Are you ready to talk about Emily and Talia?
Oh my goodness.
This is an interesting, I worry about calling it a love triangle, but it kind of is with her husband, and then it's like all these lies. That's really all I got from this tonight is Emily feels lied to. Her husband knows the truth, but kind of doesn't because she told her that it was like a fleeting like affair or whatever. It's just a weird...
He thinks that she's gonna stay with, like, or her husband, Eric, thinks that Emily is just a fling and that she, like, oh, we'll hang out with you and then we're gonna be together forever.
Yeah.
But Emily did not feel that way. But I don't feel like that's what I don't know. I didn't feel like that was her intention, was like, oh, I'm just gonna be with...
I feel like that's what she told her husband so that she could be with Emily. It's not really because when she's with Emily, you see that connection between them.
I think Talia is a creeper, and like something is going on with her, or else I feel like it would just be a throwaway storyline. I'm like, why else are we doing this? There has to be something creepy going on with Talia, and not to mention how creepy is she talking to Emily's mom on the phone constantly.
Yeah.
Like, they referred to that twice. Like, I knew where you were because your mom told me. Oh, just on the phone with your mom. Like,
Who does
you
that?
just met this girl. So creepy, so
weird.
bizarre. Don't trust her. She's up to something.
Did they meet at any point? The mom?
No.
No.
I was
She doesn't. Her mom doesn't even know that they're like together.
Yeah.
Just that they're like friends, coworkers.
So strange that like that's where they're taking this, and I wonder if there's like a past storyline between the Emily's mother and Talia, if there's like some other thing, because we talk about multi-generational a lot on our show, that it could have this multi-generational aspect to it. So could she have some connection to the older generation? Because we've seen Mona had it, Allison had it to Ezra. Like, there is that, like, jump.
Who knows? I don't know. There is a generation thing, I don't imagine that it would go as far as her knowing Emily's mother. I feel like they would have already clarified that if that was the case. But, like, maybe her and Ezra have, a history of some order, or have met.
Well, Ezra's name keeps getting brought up.
Yeah. So Talia was brought in to the brew, and Ezra now owns the brew or something. Okay. And so I'm wondering how they knew each other. Or was she just like a random applicant?
He said he knew someone who can cater for that party.
Yeah.
So he knew of her, or he knew her, or there was something. But that's all we knew.
Is it just me, or is this like a crazy coincidence that her and Ezra both know each other, they're both working at the brew, and they're both dating people who are like way younger and underage?
Emily is way too young to be dating someone who's married.
Yes.
Or like getting divorced, or may get
agree.
divorced, or whatever it's like, no, you are too young for that.
It's nothing personal against Talia. It's just that I want her to be with someone her own age.
Yeah, or like closer, at least like college.
Yeah.
Someone who's not already married and made that choice to spend their life with someone.
Yeah, I feel like the whole like Ezra situation, that was completely different because he didn't know, where Talia knew how old Emily was.
And Ezra, I feel like he didn't have that much baggage. I mean, he was a teacher, but it was not like he was...
I mean, he had some baggage, but
I was about
not in the
another
picture.
person in
He wasn't
their life.
married.
Yeah.
Well, and they're soulmates, so I mean, like...
Yeah, exactly. We all kind of brushed that one to the side.
I do wonder, though, when we mention him, he obviously did have baggage. It wasn't as... right there.
Yeah.
I know Talia's is like, here's my husband. He can literally walk in. And we saw, of course, like, Ezra's ex come back. Like, they've all had their baggage come back. But I feel like Emily is like the girl who won't put up with it. And she's kind of...
Well, she shouldn't put up with it.
She shouldn't.
No.
willing to walk away from this. And that, I thought it was sweet that she went to Ashley for advice.
Yeah, I liked that conversation actually a lot. I liked the advice that she
Ashley
gave her.
was a little weird about it, though. Like, do you mean me or do you mean you? Like,
Well,
guess
man.
what, Ashley? It doesn't matter who you mean.
With
It should be the
everything
same advice.
With everything she's been through, that's definitely a throwback to like her one night with
Jason.
Thank you. I was like, it's not coming to me. Jason. And she was like, what do you mean? Because I feel like that's how she feels, is that she could be with him, but it's not this like long term. And that's her current debate. I mean, that was not talked about a lot in the episode tonight, but is it Jason or the pastor Ted?
I did not get that from it, but now it's making sense.
I mean, just my personal theory. Maybe I'm wrong, but
it makes sense to me, yeah.
That's how I took it. And I feel like that's what will come about in the next few episodes, is she'll finally hopefully make a choice. I don't think it's going to go into season 6 with her still debating between.
Someone said something interesting. I don't know if it was in our comments or if it was a tweet, but they said something interesting about Ashley and Pastor Ted in reference to Hannah and Sean in the first season. And they said, just like Hannah and Sean, Ashley and Pastor Ted looked good on paper. Just like Hannah and Sean looked really good on paper. But, like, they weren't good for each other. Or, like, there was nothing there.
I love Pastor Ted, though.
I know.
I do, too. Because he's great for her.
He's so
on
good
paper.
for her.
That's so true, though. He's good.
Yeah.
Like, they are a good couple on paper. Like, but...
I don't know how good Jason is either.
You think Pastor Ted could be A?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That would be mind blowing.
I mean, I would be like on the floor if that happened. That would be incredible.
It's like, Pastor Ted, why'd you disappear? I thought you were like in Haiti. No, I was planning my next A plot.
Yep.
That's like
where he
a
gets
mic
the
drop
money.
moment. Like,
Yep.
just drop it and boom, out.
Watch it be him.
That's where he gets the money from the what do you call that when you give money at church?
Oh,
Offering?
Offering. From the offering.
Clearly we're all.
We're all hardcore churchgoers here. I can tell. He takes the offering from people and then he puts it into his A fund.
Interesting. That lots of theories going on at this table tonight, so you can go on iTunes.
Some crazy ones.
Yeah, some crazy ones. We want to hear yours, though. We come in here just after watching the show, and it's always fun to hear what you guys are thinking. So go on iTunes or YouTube, rate, comment, let us know what you're thinking. We're, of course, streaming live tonight, and we stream every Tuesday night at 9. Pretty Little Liars, check us out for sure if you're watching this later on.
We also have a live stream. Do we have anyone, or a live chat? Do we have anyone good in the live chat?
Not tonight yet.
Oh.
Okay, well,
Lame.
Next week, guys. Next week.
Join in the live chat.
I was going to say, if you're watching this later, come.
Yeah.
Next
We're here.
week. Yeah.
You throw out your theories. We can talk about them right
Live.
now.
Yes, it's very exciting. So let's get into our own theories about Johnny and Spencer.
They kissed.
We're clearly thrilled at the table. That was like the highest squeaking noise. We were just like, this is the best. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that she is sick of being with the cop, like with the person who's
She wants to be bad.
I'm
Let the girl
so
be bad.
over him, though.
Right?
Just get
Yeah.
go away, Toby.
Like
You're so
hard-ass
annoying.
Toby.
Ugh.
Gosh, and like her and Johnny's banter, like the whole time is just so cute, like such a Bonnie and Clyde thing. Like,
Yeah.
I loved how he was like, "Don't get that sparkle in your eye. You're not gonna be driving my getaway car." And then she was, and I was like, "Oh."
And then she like picked the lock, and she's like, she had it down.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Spencer could be A, because she seemed to know how to get in places and get things out of places quickly. Oh wait, what did she have? She had a thing in her hand, and then A.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
about to steal my prediction.
and then A had the
wrench.
But mine wasn't. I didn't think it was Spencer when I saw that wrench. I actually, even though I love Johnny, I was afraid it was Johnny
I have an
because
issue
she
with
gave
tools.
Johnny those tools.
Oh.
Because I did think
Maybe it's the both of them.
Oh, because I did
Ooh.
think it was weird in the end how A just like goes, rifles through a gym bag, goes to pump a few 10-pounders, and then pulls out a wrench, and then leaves.
So random.
Well, didn't we see a still, or I saw a still picture of Mike in the gym previously? So I was like, is that supposed to be Mike? I literally turned to you and asked because we saw him at the gym.
I think it was his room.
It was
Yeah.
him. It was his room. So it was somebody else using the weights
Yes.
in
Yeah.
his room, and we again still don't know who that is, which is very
But
frustrating.
like, who
I
does
fear
like?
maybe Johnny.
Yeah, who does that? Like, I'm just gonna go sneak into someone's room, pick up a couple 10-pounders. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
He cracked me up so much too, and he didn't even do like a full rep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
At least do like 10 if you're gonna do
If
it.
you're gonna do it, make him count.
It's true. I mean, but how did the paintings get into this gallery without Johnny's consent? Let's take it back to the beginning of the
I
episode.
feel like I don't really care how they got there, just that they did, and that they got to be cute stealing them.
Well, didn't they say that somebody
Someone turned him in.
was throwing them away, and so somebody else grabbed them and brought them to
Yeah.
him?
But my question is why I feel like they were setting up this opportunity for Spencer to act poorly and to be caught. It almost made me wonder if it was a police department. Like that the police knew Spencer was involved, got the paintings.
Toby.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he
Toby.
said,
But he told
they're
her-
looking at you already.
Yeah, and they also said Tanner was looking for her to do something, like that her eye was on Spencer. So it made me wonder if they saw her doing the vandalism or knew she was involved in some capacity and realized, like, if we get them in the gallery, they'll go after them and it'll give us even more.
Okay, my mind is going really fast right now, and I'm starting to think of some things.
Okay.
So what if Toby is, I love the hashtag, good cop, bad BF or whatever. I thought it was really
Yeah.
funny. But what if Toby actually already knows that it may be Johnny, so was setting him up by putting those, taking their vandalism and putting it in a gallery, so then he had a reason to arrest Johnny and put him in jail potentially to keep the girls safe from him. But Toby can't tell the girls or be close with Spencer right now because he can't tell her what's going on and that he's actually protecting her. Whoa.
Where would Johnny just came? Johnny just showed up like randomly this season. It's like, where have you been for the past?
Maybe we need to go
true.
back
5
to season 1. Maybe he was actually there and we all missed him.
He's like in the background at every scene. Like,
I was gonna say we can either find Johnny in past seasons, or he may have moved to town.
Yep. which I hope that's really the case, because
Yeah.
I like Johnny. But I mean, just, theories.
Yeah, exactly. I
Theories.
mean, new people come to town. I don't want to immediately put you as a suspect. Like, moving to Rosewood does not equal suspect yet. Talk to me next week.
Whatever keeps Johnny on the show, though, I'm happy with.
Yeah.
I love that dude.
Yeah,
it's great.
I mean, he is very different for Spencer. That's what I think is so interesting about that pairing is Toby, again, I think right now he's very focused on his career, and maybe you're right, protecting her, but he's always been like the upstanding guy. I feel like for the most part, he's like the one who's held it all together for Spencer. And I feel like Johnny's much more of a free spirit, like travels, speaks foreign languages, is like the guy who's into art. And that's an interesting pairing for Spencer, especially in her senior year before she's interested in doing all of this stuff as well.
Yeah, I just wondered, I'm like, why have you not broken up with Toby yet? Like,
Did they break up? Because I felt like they broke up. Like when Toby showed up at Hollis, it was like, oh, hey, awkward after breakup run-in. But then I don't remember them breaking up.
No, I think it was that she was with another guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
super awkward though.
Yeah, it was just, and also it was like how, like, really competing for Spencer. Toby was extremely rude to Johnny and vice versa.
Which I liked. I was like, feel the competition, Toby.
Yeah.
Feel bad right now. Feel awkward. You're being a jerk. He is being a jerk.
He
He is.
Don't like it.
Interesting.
Maybe it's for good reason, though. Maybe we'll find out. We'll be like, oh, I kind of forgive him for being an ass.
Yeah, but at this point, I'm all Johnny.
Yeah.
I just want Johnny. Maybe that's a personal thing.
I like him better, too. He's dangerous for her a little bit, which is good.
Well, I think that this is a conversation we can talk about tonight or next week, but there seems to be a big divide for a lot of these girls about passion versus, like, I don't want to say the right choice, but, like, the calm or stable choice. And, like, you saw that.
Isn't that everyone's choice in life, though?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like that happens all the
I
time.
mean, maybe they're doing a great job of mirroring that experience, but I just feel like you could go down the list, and a lot of these characters, that's the question right now. Am I going to go for the guy that I'm, like, madly, like, a little crazy or a little wilder, but I'm mad about? Or am I going to...
The safe choice.
The
He
safe-
looks good. He's stable.
He's stable. And I feel like Spencer's going through that. We talked about Ashley going through that. You can argue in some ways Emily doesn't have another person right now, but like Talia would definitely be the crazier choice. And do she walk away from that or not?
Arya has it.
Yeah, Arya definitely has it.
And Emily kind of already went through it with Maya and her boyfriend when she was still dating that one guy.
But can't they ask this question in their issues with A? Like, just want them sometimes to just tell it all. Just come clean about everything and just see what unfolds then.
That actually makes me have a question about what we talked about at the top of the episode, which is Mike. This felt like a big reveal to me. It was a lot of information.
It was. I was really glad that we got something.
It just made me question how much of it was true. I know we're assuming it's Mike's truth, but it felt like to me that Mona might not be revealing the whole truth. I just don't think, generally, at least in my experiences with Pretty Little Liars, we don't get all of that.
Right.
Like in one.
You know, in the flashback, she was talking to her friend who came to visit. What was her name? Starts with an L.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look back.
Leslie?
Leslie.
Was it
She was
Leslie?
talking to her on the phone in the flashback. So I kind of think that she's more involved than we think.
Oh, she totally probably is. Oh, I can't believe you forgot about Leslie.
Like,
Good
what
job.
if because I was kind of thinking maybe Leslie was the one who, like, attacked Mona, fake attacked, so she could die.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Very interesting.
And then she had, like, that blonde wig on.
I like that. Well, should we jump into some news and gossip? I think we covered this episode pretty well.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Let's see here. I'm going to pull it up for a second. So, we were talking about that, of course, last week that Shay is hosting the Valentine's Day thing on YouTube, and it's a dating contestant. You can like compete, and I think that that's like really, really cute. And she did an interview about that and talked about the dance that they did tonight on the show. And she says, Ashley is like my little sister, and it's so much fun whenever we get to hang out, especially in the upcoming episode, which was tonight, where we actually have a dance-off. So she considered it a dance-off, which I thought was like...
She clearly won.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, it kind of turned out to be a dance-off, but I don't know that I would necessarily have gone and considered it that to begin with.
How different are they in age?
I didn't realize, that...
I don't think
She'd be
that. I mean,
younger.
I think that she's older, but I don't think she's like that much older.
I thought they were both like around like 26.
Mid-20s, yeah.
I think that Ashley's a little bit younger, and I think that Shay was like in. I don't know. I thought she was like 27 or 28.
Yeah, they're all in that range. And she continued on talking about that Emily, actually this is a separate interview with MTV News, she says that she thinks Emily actually should be single for a minute. I think Emily needs to cool it for a minute because she's had a revolving door of relationships. She could stand to have a couple moments to herself for once. And that's
Very
something
true.
I was so proud to hear her say that, because it's something we talk about on our show all the time, is that these girls are never single.
No.
And I was just like, oh, these actresses actually see it. I was like, I had this moment of like, oh, we're all on the same page. It feels really good, and then actually my final piece was something that we've been talking about the whole time, that was like 10 questions about A. And I just thought we could go through them, but we've covered it pretty much. So I think we'll skip that for this week. Are you ready for predictions?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I gave them.
We kind of gave them all up.
I know. It's hard to go through and not predict along the way because there's so many.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because it's a show all about theories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's no way for us to not be predicting the entire time that we talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's my 2 cents.
I was gonna say, does anyone have a theory, or are we just gonna say that we've done them for the most part?
I like my mustard
I
theory.
was gonna say, let's expand on this mustard a little bit.
I think that there's some depth there. I'm interested to see what happens next week
I'm gonna
with
laugh
the mustard.
if the mustard comes back and it's actually something.
If we're gonna hang on to your crazy, I'm sticking with Pastor Ted.
All right.
If Emily asks for mustard again in another episode, I'm gonna automatically.
done deal.
Yeah, she's A. She's A.
Should we question Mike's 2 cups of coffee then too?
Right, Mike had no, because caffeine's important.
That's true.
I
Mustard, not so much.
No.
Mine was gonna go off of Mike, though, I have to say, and say that I think that, unfortunately for him, it appears that he's gonna go off the deep end a little bit. He seems really unstable at this point, which has been a big shift from previous seasons. He's been kind of a calm character, and we haven't known that much about Mike in previous seasons until he started dating Mona, and now he seems so upset by her, I'm gonna say possible death, that he looks like he could really push it, and I don't know, maybe end up in Radley? Not sure.
I see now why Cody was so sure wanted to be so sure that Mike wasn't on drugs.
I agree. No,
I get it now.
Yeah, he was very particular about that, which I appreciated. But I do think that it's going to be interesting to see Cody kind of go there. I mean, having just interviewed him, that seems like a great thing for him, and to kind of see his character expand. And as we mentioned a few weeks ago, he has a new role on Teen Wolf, so how is he going to balance these two? Are we going to see him in some way exit a bit? I don't think leave permanently, but exit in some capacity beyond less. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what his role becomes on Pretty Little Liars. Ooh, so many thoughts, guys. I don't know. So much to talk about with this episode. Let us know what you're thinking. You can tweet at AFTERBUZZ, at AFTERBUZZ TV, and you can tweet me at Stephanie Wenger.
You can tweet me and find me on Instagram at Heather Joy Smith.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at Kristin Strange and on Instagram at Kristen Aubrey Strange.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
See you next week with more pre-LL fun. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.